Yo, it's your boy, Southern Cal, back at y'all with another video. Real quick before we get into this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, smash that notification bell so you'll get a notification every single time I drop a new video. Let's talk about it. After 27 years, they arrested Keefe D in connection with the murder of the late, great, legendary Tupac Shakur. I know it's still a lot of diehard Tupac fans who are still mourning and grieving, 27 years later. I'm one of those diehard loyal Tupac fans who was still grieving 27 years later. I wish that none of this would have ever happened. I wish that Tupac would have never stomped out Orlando. Because it costed him his life in the end. Orlando was not Orlando wasn't one of them wannabe gangbangers. He wasn't one of those, people who try to be tough and this and that. I'm talking about, like, Orlando was the very definition of what a gangster was, or what a gangster is. That was Orlando. Orlando was a young hitter. And yeah. Everybody's a gangster till a real gangster walk in the room. That's how that is. That's how that usually go. But I hate that happened. I hate that Tupac had to go because of that. Tupac was definitely one of my childhood heroes, as well as Biggie. Definitely another one of my, who was another one of my childhood heroes. And I just hate that happened to both of them. That Tupac had to go, and then Biggie had to go 6 months later. I hate it. But after 27 years, that an arrest has finally been made in connection with the murder of Tupac, which is Keefe D, who is the only one who is still living today. He's the only one out of the 4 people in that car that night who's still living. The rest of them are dead. Terrence Brown, who was the driver, he dead. Big Dre, who was sitting behind the driver, he's dead. Orlando Anderson, who I believe to be the shooter, he's dead. Keefe D is the only living person. And I feel like everybody likes to say that Vlad this, and how people be saying that Vlad is the police and Vlad is this and Vlad is that, and it's like, I don't see how. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that Vlad does is ask the questions. He asks the questions, and you have free will to answer them, whether you want to answer those questions or not. If you don't want to answer those questions, you can easily say next question. But it's people who choose to answer these questions that they know are going to incriminate them. They know that they're incriminating themselves, but they still answer the questions. They still do. And even Vlad said that the police came to him about Keefe D, but he refused to cooperate. He said that anytime the police comes to him and asks him about a certain individual that he interviewed, he always says no. He always refuses to cooperate with law enforcement. So he himself does not personally cooperate with law enforcement to bring somebody down. No, he just does the interviews and he just asks the questions. You don't have to answer them. But it's so much self-snitching going on, and y'all looking at everybody else except for the people who snitch on themselves. People like A.R. Ab. He ran his mouth too much. This Negro just ran his mouth too much, and the police saw it. And now he doing football numbers in prison right now. Doing football numbers. The top goon of Philly couldn't keep his mouth closed. Talk too much. And that's how a lot of these rappers and a lot of these wannabe gangsters and all that do, man. Like, y'all talk too damn much, man. This is the age of social media, and social media is the number one source. It's the number one source for law enforcement. If they want to find out something about you, the first place they go is to your social media. The first place they go is to your Instagram page. The first place they go is to your Facebook page, your YouTube page, your Twitter page, your TikTok. It's the first place they go is to social media. Let me look them up on social media, because and that tells them everything they need to know about you. Y'all tell on yourselves. Keefe D got himself in this position. He put himself in this position. He did all this to himself. It's his fault. Because he kept running his mouth about it. He kept running his mouth about it, and he talked outside of the proffer agreement that he made with Detective Greg Kading back in 2009. Because they made that proffer agreement that, hey, you cannot be charged, and you cannot be prosecuted right now. But in the future, if you're still talking about this and you still talk about things that can bring about new evidence, then you still can be charged for that. This right here is just to get you off right now. So what Keefe D should have did was he should have just shut the hell up. After that, man, no more talking about it. Cause yeah, I was looking at life in prison for some for PCP or whatever. But shoot, man, I had to do what I had to do. And I got this proffer agreement, and they got me off of this one. But now I got to keep my mouth shut. But see, no, Keefe D couldn't do that. He couldn't keep his mouth shut long enough. In every interview, he talking about the Tupac murder. In every interview. And then he even wrote a whole book about it. He goes so far as to even write a whole freaking book about it, telling what happened. Because he felt that proffer agreement was going to keep him out of prison. So he felt like he could just freely talk about it and stay out of prison. But no, he kept talking, and now he done talked himself right into jail. He done talked himself right into the pokey. And it's his own fault. It's not Vlad's fault. It's not nobody else's fault. It's Keefe D's own fault. Stop talking so much. Quit running your mouth so much. So I think so he's in the he's locked up right now with no bond. I saw that article the other day. To where it's no bond, and I said, wow, I thought they was gonna at least get him in a bond, but nah, he up in that thing with no bond at all, none. I said, oh, they serious about this here. They serious about this. They trying to put Keefe D up under the jail, for real. So I don't know how Keefe D is gonna play this. You know what I'm saying? I think he's charged with conspiracy to commit murder. And then also he did have the firearm. He did have the firearm that night. You know what I'm saying? And he, owned him that night. But he didn't. But he said that he couldn't shoot him. He didn't want to shoot him because he didn't want to shoot over his driver. So he passed it to the back seat to Big Dre, because Big Dre was the closest to him, was the closest to Tupac now. But Big Dre was like, nah, I'm good. I can't do it. Then Orlando was like, man, give it to me. I'll do it. And Orlando popped him. So, so they can't charge him. They can't charge him with that gun. It can't be a gun charge. So I'm not sure what's going to quite happen to Keefe D, or if he gonna be put in general population, or if he gonna be put in protective custody. I don't know. I'm not sure. But however it is, I just hope that this finally brings closure to Tupac's family. I hope this brings closure to Tupac's siblings, Mopreme, his brother Mopreme, and also his sister. I hope that this brings some type of peace to those who were close to Pac, those family members and those friends who were close to Pac. You know, people like the Outlaws with, you know what I'm saying, Mutai and Idi Amin, and, you know, I'm talking about the rest of the Outlaws. Hopefully this brings closure, you know, to the situation. Now that an arrest has been made. So, I know Diddy is somewhat shaking in his boots right now. I know he's somewhat shaking like a stripper right now. But even with Diddy, I'm not sure if they can even get him, to be honest with you, because there's no proof. Even though Keefe D can know that this happened with Puffy, you know, he can know, he can say that I know that this happened, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. So if there's no proof, and if Keefe D is the only one who's saying this, in which Keefe D has pretty much been the only one who's been saying this for years now, then, you know, they have nothing to go off on if Keefe D is the only person who's saying this. You know, because if you ask, I mean, because according to Diddy, he don't even know who Keefe D is. He don't even know Keefe D. In which we all know that's a lie, because he knows Keefe D. I mean, that was providing him protection back in the day against, you know what I'm saying, from Suge and them, because, you know, Diddy was he was afraid of Suge and Pac back then. So he was providing them with protection. Keefe D and the rest of the Southside Compton Crips. So he knows who Keefe D is. No matter how much he tries to deny it, he know who Keefe D is. But let him tell it this day and time. Oh, nah, I don't know Keefe D. I don't even know Keefe D. He's not going to do nothing to get himself. He's not going to do nothing to get himself caught up in nothing, or to incriminate himself. That's not what's going to happen. I don't believe it. So I really don't see them locking up P. Diddy. I don't see them getting him, because it's like there's no real proof. There's no real evidence. There's no paper trail that he, you know what I'm saying, that he wired the money to them for the murder of Tupac. There's no paper trail on that. Now, if they can find a paper trail on that, then okay. You know, then they'll have something to go on. But as long as they can't find no paper trail on that, then I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't see Diddy getting arrested, to be honest with you. So, but but those are just my thoughts. And once again, I just hope and pray that this brings closure finally to those who are closest to Pac, those family members, those friends who were very close to Pac and love Pac, you know. And my thoughts and prayers are still with those family and friends who were very close to Pac and who are still grieving over the death of Tupac. And so I'll be back once more comes up about this case. I'll be blogging on it again. And but for now, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this situation. And it's Southern Cal. Gone.